Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 12th of March 2024. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover the most important articles that were there in the newspaper dated 12th of March 2024. So let us quickly see the list of articles that we are going to cover in today's newspaper analysis. So today we are going to cover these many articles. So we have listed all these articles one by one. Most of these articles are important for the mains exam because there are around, let's say, 4 to 5 articles that are important for the mains exam, descriptive type of articles, and then there are some short articles that are important for the prelims exam. So we are going to discuss all these articles one by one, and this is going to be the first topic for the day. This topic is related to science and technology. Here in this article, we are going to understand the basic principles of artificial intelligence. So this topic itself says understanding the basic principles of artificial intelligence. All right. So let us quickly understand what do we mean by basic principles of artificial intelligence. Let me quickly write down the name of the topic, right? Then we are going to understand about these principles one by one. Understanding the basic principles of artificial intelligence. Okay, so as we all know that artificial intelligence has been growing very rapidly, very fast. And we have seen various versions of artificial intelligence. We have seen, let's say, the chat GPT model also of artificial intelligence. Then there are other types of artificial intelligence that can, let's say, make a video out of the command that you are giving. So these artificial intelligence systems that we can see, right, that we can use for our day-to-day life, they're built based on certain principles, right? They do have certain principles that they follow, and today we are going to understand about those principles. So in this article, basically they have talked about few important concepts that I'm going to discuss with you. So one of the important concept is known as supervised learning. Okay, there is a concept which is known as supervised learning. So let us understand what do we mean by supervised learning. So when we talk about supervised learning, the artificial intelligence systems are, let's say, are using machine learning algorithms. So here machine learning means the machine itself learns from the inputs that it receives from the users, and it learns from the output that it is generating. So basically, it is learning from inputs and outputs that it receives, and massive amount of data sets are used to train the artificial intelligence systems or machines. When we talk about chat GPT, so it has been trained using, let's say, billions of parameters, means huge number of parameters are used so that artificial intelligence systems can predict what should be the next word in the line of sentences that they are using. So when we talk about supervised learning, basically what happens, the artificial intelligence system is learning, but it is supervised by human beings. And when we supervise this particular learning, what we do, we label the data. In case of supervised learning, there is an important part that data labeling happens. What? Data labeling happens. Okay, data label happens means the type of data that is being learned. So this data may be, let's say, converted into a tabular format. Okay, so rows, columns can be made. Names can be given to the data. For example, row 1, okay, row 2, row 3. So such kind of labeling happens. Okay, column 1. So these are rows. Okay, and these are columns. These will be columns. So this will be column 1, column 2, column 3. So this kind of labeling is given, right? That is known as supervised learning. Apart from this, so here in this article it says that in supervised learning the data is labeled, for example, in table or row and column, and titles are provided, and data types such as numbers, verbs, names, etc. are pointed out. Okay, so these things are done in case of supervised learning. Apart from this, there is another type of learning which is known as unsupervised learning. What? Unsupervised learning. So what do we mean by unsupervised learning? In case of unsupervised learning, this kind of labeling is not being given, right? So machine itself, let's say, learns. So in unsupervised learning, this information is withheld, forcing the machine to understand how the data can be organized and then solve a problem, okay? So machine itself, let's say, solves the problem, and machine itself understands that like how it is done. Apart from this, there is another kind of learning which is known as reinforcement learning. What? Reinforcement learning. So let us understand what do we mean by reinforcement learning. Basically here it says that in reinforcement learning, engineers score the machine's output as it learns and solves problem on its own and uses these scores to adjust its performance. So basically in reinforced learning, what happens, like scores are given by engineers based on the output that the artificial intelligence system is producing. If it is producing good output, so more rating will be given, bad output, less rating will be given. So the thing is, that's how the performance analysis happens in artificial intelligence system. And over a period of time, though the positive output that it is generating, so it gets more positive feedback, and then such kind of outputs are, let's say, regenerated from time to time. So that's how the artificial intelligence system improves itself from time to time. Apart from this, let's say in this article they have also mentioned another very important thing that is known as artificial neural networks, okay? Here they have mentioned about artificial neural networks. Artificial neural networks. So what do we mean by artificial neural networks? In short, artificial neural networks can be represented using the symbol ANN. Means in short, we can say it to be artificial neural networks. So artificial neural networks comprises of computing units, okay? It comprises computing units or nodes connected together in such a way that the whole network learns the way an animal brain does, okay? So in case of artificial neural networks, here it mimics, what it does, it mimics the learning capacity, right, of number one, humans or animals, okay? Humans, or we can in broader, or animals. So the way that animals and humans learn from the experience. So these things are similarly done by artificial neural networks, okay? So it mimics the learning capacity of human beings. It mimics the learning capacity of animals. And here in case of artificial neural networks, there are something which are called as nodes. What? Nodes. Nodes are means like in human brain, we do have, let's say, brain cells, and we do have synapses also. Brain cells, for example, let's say like synapses are the gaps between the neurons. So the thing is like from one neuron to another neuron, the signal, right, the electric signal passes through the synapses, through the gaps, okay? Similarly, in this case also, nodes represent the neurons, okay? Nodes are similar to neurons, and at the same time, nodes mimic the neurons, and the connections between nodes mimic synapses, okay? So whatever connections are there, okay? So nodes represent neurons in human bodies, right, in human brain, and then the connections that are there in the nodes, right, the connections that are there between the nodes. So they mimic, right, similar to synapses. What are synapses? Synapse is a gap between successive neurons. For example, let's say if I say this is a neuron, okay? So this is just a rough diagram. If I say this is a neuron, so here synapse, let's say like this is one neuron, it does have various parts, and there are gaps also. This gap is known as synapse, okay? This gap is known as synapse. So similarly, in artificial neural networks, nodes represent these neurons, okay? Node represent the neuron, and the gap, okay? Node represent the neurons, and the gaps are represented by the connections that they have. and they also mimic the human brain, the way, let's say, human brain works. Okay, similarly artificial neural networks perform. Apart from this, there is another very important component in case of artificial intelligence, that is known as GPU, graphic processing unit. It is known as graphic processing unit. What is the work of a graphic processing unit? That's a very important thing. This is known as graphic processing unit. GPU. So what do we mean by GPU? Basically similar to, if we talk about normal computers, in case of normal computers, we do have the central processing unit. Inside the central processing unit, we do have cores in the system, and inside the cores, we have arithmetic logic unit, we have, let's say, registers, we have, let's say, like, other components that perform the functioning inside the core or inside the CPU, central processing unit of a computer. In case of artificial intelligence system, we have graphic processing unit. The graphic processing unit is the central part, it is the brain of the artificial intelligence system. And there is a company, it is known as NVIDIA. Okay, there is a company, NVIDIA. What it does, this company manufactures the graphic processing unit. So all those companies that are building artificial intelligence systems, they need to purchase, they need to have graphic processing unit to process the massive amount of data through artificial neural networks. Okay, so the largest manufacturer in the world is NVIDIA. This company manufactures graphic processing unit, and like its valuation was around $1 trillion lately, but within 9 months the valuation has roughly doubled. Now the valuation of this company is about $2 trillion. Okay, very massive thing. So what is graphic processing unit? It is the physical processor that runs the artificial neural network. It was originally developed to render the graphics for video games, and it was better at this task than the other processors at the time. Okay, so now graphic processing unit is, let's say, is something that is there. So here, if we talk about basic principles related to artificial intelligence system, the basic principle is associated with artificial neural networks that mimic the human brain. It mimics the neurons, right? Neurons are the brain cells, right, through which information travels, through which information passes. And so we do have neurons and synapses. Similarly, in artificial intelligence system, we have nodes and connections. Nodes and connection represents the neurons and synapses. Synapses are the gap between two neurons. This is the thing. So with this, let us now move to the next article. And this article is again very important. It talks about a tribe in the Western Ghats that is in need of a lifeline. Okay. So in this article, basically we are going to discuss about a tribe and why they need a lifeline. Okay, so this is going to be topic number 2 for the day. A tribe in the Western Ghat, a tribe in the Western Ghats that is in need, okay, a tribe in the Western Ghat that is in need of a lifeline. Okay, so basically in this article they have mentioned about a report. Okay, they have mentioned about a report that has been published by the EPW, right? EPW, we know, Economics and Political Weekly. So here they have talked about that report. It is known as Tribals, Forest Right and Heritage Conservation. I'm going to write down that report name. Okay, Tribals. Okay, so report name is mentioned in the newspaper itself. It is Tribals, Forest Rights and Heritage Conservation. Forest Rights and Heritage Conservation. Tribal forest rights and heritage conservation. A study of Western Ghats in Karnataka. So in this article, basically the author refers to this particular report, and this report has been sponsored by the Indian Council of Social Science Research. Okay, it has been sponsored by Indian Council of Social Sciences Research, New Delhi. And what this report talks about, it studies a tribal group that is based in Karnataka. And what that tribal group does, basically that tribal group is, let's say, has been given right under the Forest Rights Act. In India, we have an act which is known as Forest Rights Act, FRA. Forest Rights Act, I think 2006. So under the Forest Rights Act, those people who are forest dwellers, those people who are, let's say, tribal people who reside in the forest, they have been given certain rights, right, by the government, that they can utilize the minor forest produce. And since they can utilize the minor forest produce, so it is a lifeline for those tribal people. However, a recent study was conducted, a research was conducted on this tribal group, and people have been asked, these people have been asked that you have been given the right to collect the minor forest produce. Are you happy about it? So most of the tribals were not happy about it. Why? Because they were not able to meet their livelihood, let's say, needs through the work that they were doing. And some of these tribal groups have left the, let's say, like activity related to forest. They have gone to cities to work as laborers, right? Daily wage laborers. And daily wage laborers actually do huge amount of work in the office, let's say, like in construction activities. And so they do manual work. And they get a very minuscule amount of wages. And after those wages, many of those people, let's say, like, start drinking, means like they start drinking alcohol. So this study actually showcases that huge number of those tribal people have become alcohol addicts. And some of the people have, some of the research team have visited the villages of these tribal group in the state of Karnataka, and they have found that most people were in kind of, let's say, like, drunken state. So this report showcases that many of these people are not happy with the kind of livelihood option that they have. And through this article, the author wants to, let's say, like, author wants to basically author wants to basically highlight the need of these tribal people. Author says that, like, there is a village, it is known as Makuta village, under Betoli Gram Panchayat of Virapet Taluka in Kodagu district, right? And this Makuta Aranya Valaya, which is in the vicinity of the Kirti Reserve Forest, and this area is under, I mean, like, they say, like, 10 World Heritage Sites. I mean, like, it is considered to be one of the 10 World Heritage Sites. So the people in this particular region are not happy with the kind of livelihood that they have. So here the author says that these people need genuine support, genuine help from the state government and from the central government, so that they can meet their livelihood demands, so that they can be de-addicted from alcohol. So here it says issues such as alcohol abuse that are threatening to overwhelm the, like, Fani Yerava tribals in Karnataka need to be on the policy radar. Okay, so here the name of the tribal group is very important, Fani Yeraba. Okay, so I'm just writing their names also. Maybe in prelims exam they may ask name of this tribal group and to which state they belong to. Okay, that may also be asked. That may also be asked. Fani Yeraba. So this is the tribal group, right? Like, most of the people in this tribal group are addicted, right, to alcohol. And author is, let's say, like, raising the point that these people need to be de-addicted. They need to be given another lifeline support, so that they can, let's say, like, help and support their own family members. Apart from this, we have another article. This article is again important. It says central transfers and the issue of shares of some states. Okay. So through this article, we are going to discuss about the issue of central transfer. What do we mean by central transfer? That we are going to discuss. Okay, this topic is very important under Indian polity, the third topic that we are going to discuss now. Okay. So this is going to be topic number 3 for us. It says central transfers and the issue of shares of some states. So let us understand about this topic. So when we talk about this topic, the core idea or core theme of this topic is related to the Finance Commission of India. Okay, so like we do have recently the central government of India has created this 16th Finance Commission. Which 16th Finance Commission? 16th Finance Commission. So now let us discuss about what is Finance Commission. Finance Commission is a constitutional body. It is constituted once every 5 years by the President of India. Okay, so like a Finance Commission is established or constituted by the President of India once every 5 years, right? So after then the central government, let's say, notifies who is going to be the member, who is going to be the chairman of the Finance Commission, who are going to be the members, and what are the roles that the Finance Commission plays. When we talk about Finance Commission, which is a constitutional body, this Finance Commission plays a very, very important role, very significant role, which is related to the federalism in the country. So like when we talk about India, India is a quasi-federal state, right? Quasi-federal in the sense it is not completely federal the way that the United States of America is, but it is quasi-federal. Quasi-federal similar to what we have in Canada. So here we have the central government, which is little bit more powerful as compared to the state governments, and the central government and state government, they do have their own areas of jurisdiction. Areas of jurisdiction means like in which subjects they can make laws. These are mentioned in the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India. So in the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India, there is a union list, which is also known as central list, right, which is list 1. Under this list, basically all those subject matters are listed where the central government is empowered to make laws, legislations. Then list 2 is related to state list, and here the state governments are authorized or empowered to make legislations or laws. Then we have a third list also, which is known as concurrent list, right? In the concurrent list, all those subject matters are mentioned where the central government as well as the state government can make laws. Okay, so that's how, let's say, separation of power, right, between the center and states are there. But like there are many taxation areas, there are many areas of taxation where, let's say, state government is levying and collecting tax from the citizens, central government are levying and collecting tax from the citizens, and there are even areas in which the state government collects the tax for the central government from the areas of state government. So generally this tax amount, the tax collected, right, goes to the central government. But the thing is, like this Finance Commission, the Finance Commission that is constituted by the President of India, decides that how this money is to be let's say shared with the states. So the union government receives the funds, or let's say like money, right, from various proceeds of taxation that comes from multiple areas, right, from the states and from the center also. And out of this, let's say the Finance Commission recommends that how the taxes, how the money is to be shared. Okay, so how the money is to be shared, and this particular topic is known as vertical devolution. What we call it as vertical devolution. Vertical devolution means out of the total proceeds that the central government receives, how much percentage of it, right, how much percentage of it will go to the states, right, how much percentage of it will go to the states. Let's consider the central government receives 100 units, or let's say 100% of some amount. It can be 1,000 crore, 2,000 crore, maybe any amount, right, or lakh crores, and out of which how much percentage will go. Earlier it was 42% under 15th Finance Commission. Later on it was reduced to 41%, right, because one of the state was converted into 2 union territories. Which state? The state of Jammu and Kashmir was converted into Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Union Territory of Ladakh. Okay, so Union Territories are directly administered by the central government and central government shares money with them. Okay, so this was decided by the previous Finance Commission, but the 16th Finance Commission has now been constituted, and 16th Finance Commission is given the terms of reference by the President of India. Terms of reference means on these areas, on this topic, you need to look into, you need to recommend the central government that what proportion should go to the state government. So this is known as vertical devolution. Then there is another issue that is known as horizontal devolution. We are going to understand about this topic quickly. This is known as horizontal devolution. What do we mean by horizontal devolution? Horizontal devolution means out of the total money that is earmarked for the state government, means like let's say out of 100, 41% is earmarked for the state government. This 41%, how it is going to be distributed among the states? Okay, so the fund distribution among the states means like all states do not receive the money equally. It means, let's say whatever is the fund, it is not distributed equally among all the states. Why? Because there are multiple factors. There are some states that are big states, there are some states that has big like large population, there are some states that has, let's say, high forested areas, and forested areas also play very important role, because let's consider in the northeastern states, right, there is a state that has 84% of its total geographical area covered under forest reserve. It means they have only 16%, right, other areas that are open, and in those 16% area people might be doing let's say like some financial activities, business activities. So that particular state is contributing to the ecology and environment, but that state needs proper support from the central government. So those states are given some additional benefits, some additional transfer is given because of forest and ecology, like it is considered to be one of the parameters. So in horizontal devolution they considers various parameters. Okay, they considers various parameters. One of the parameter is what is the total population in the state. Second parameter is what is the income distance. What do we mean by income distance? Out of all the states in India that we have, right, every state has some state gross domestic product. The way that India has a GDP, for example, if I talk about the entire country, India, we do have GDP, gross domestic product. Similarly, if we talk about states in India, right, they have gross state domestic product, GSDP. So there will be a state that has the highest gross state domestic product. So what we do from that state, we see let's say like what is the gross domestic product of other states. So that is known as income distance. So there can be a state that is that has gross state domestic product much lesser than the highest earning state. There can be states that has mean like that. So that is known as income distance. So what are the parameters? Number one parameter, let's say population is a parameter that is considered. I mean, like previous Finance Commission has considered population earlier. 1971 population was considered, but 15th Finance Commission, previous Finance Commission has looked into the 2011 census data. Apart from this, income distance is also a parameter, right? Income distance is also a parameter. Apart from this, tax effort is also a parameter. What do we mean by tax effort? Means like there are states that are, let's say, putting effort to collect taxes from the citizens, to collect taxes from the businesses. So because of the tax effort that they are putting, so some additional transfer will be given, right, to those states. Apart from this, as we discussed, forest and ecology is also given. Forest and ecology is also given certain kind of incentives. So those states that have very less forest reserve, they are given less. Why? So that they can be nudged, so that their behavior can be nudged, so that they can also go for afforestation. If they go for afforestation, only then they will get, let's say, incentivized by the Finance Commission. So basically in this article the author is saying that there are states, for example northeastern and hilly states in India, and these northeastern and hilly states are receiving good amount of money from the central government through the devolution, right? Why? Because like they are meeting forest and ecology related thing, they do have income distance, they I mean like they are earning less, their gross state domestic product is less. So whatever money that they are contributing, out of the contribution they get more money. For example, let's say like there can be states, northeastern and hilly states, their gross state domestic product is very less, but like they're getting good contribution from the central government. This is the case with UP also. If UP is contributing 1 rupees, it is getting 1.6 rupees. And there are states, for example, Karnataka, 1 rupees, they are getting maybe 40 paisa, 60 paisa out of it. They are getting less. Okay. So these are the things. So someone has joined, Jigyasha Sinha. Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. Are you understanding? So there are states that are contributing more, but they are getting less. There are states that are contributing less, they are getting more. So those states that are contributing more to the central government's taxes and receiving less, so they do have grievances from the Finance Commission. Why? Because they consider that like although they are contributing more but they are receiving less, they do have grievances. In this article basically the authors have discussed about that how those grievances can be minimized by the 16th Finance Commission. So here in this article author has discussed about the income distance criterion, and author has discussed that income distance, I mean like earlier the weightage to the income distance was given really high. I think like in this case they have also given, let's say like the parameter income distance. So earlier income distance was given very high consideration. Here the author is suggesting that income distance must be given lesser weightage in the overall devolution. So if they come up with some formula, let's consider population is given 15%, income distance is given 12%, tax effort is given 2.5%, this is given 2.5%, means like there will be a formula that will total come out to be, let's say 100%. So the thing is the author is suggesting that income distance can be given lesser weightage. Okay, it can be given lesser weightage, and if we give lesser weightage, what will happen? Those states that are contributing more will receive more fund from the central government, and those states that are contributing less, they will receive less. Why? Because like the state that has less gross state domestic product will be having more income distance, and if it is having less weightage, in that case they are going to get less devolution, and those states that are actually contributing more will get more benefit. Okay, this is the central theme of this thing. So 16th Finance Commission has been constituted by the central government. Its chairman is Arvind Pangaria, as we all know, and this article has been written by two prominent authors. One of the author is former chairman, the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, and he was a former governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, C. Rangarajan, former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, has written this article, and D.K. Srivastava, former director, Madras School of Economics. So they are prominent economists, prominent people, right, from the field of finance, and they have suggested this thing. They have given three tables also. One of the table talks about share of states in commission-wise tax devolution for groups selected, like that, like which state received what, Finance Commission 12, Finance Commission 13, Finance Commission 4. And second thing, it said that like the political parties, data related to political parties. So which political party received what amount from which donor. So the Supreme Court of India has asked the State Bank of India to share all this data with the Election Commission of India. To whom? With the Election Commission of India. And Supreme Court of India has asked the Election Commission of India to publish all these data, okay, to publish the data in the public domain through their website, so that the public at large, the voters in India, get to know that which political parties have received how much money, right, from which persons. Okay, so this was mandated by the Supreme Court of India. However, so if it is done, let's consider if it is done, what will happen? like the voters who are casting their vote, they will be able to make informed decision. They will be knowing that like who is donating to which political parties. And the Supreme Court of India has made a very important observation. What was that observation? Supreme Court of India has made an observation that like mostly the electoral bonds that has a denomination of 1 crore rupees, many corporations have, let's say, donated to political parties worth, let's say, 1 crore, like in denomination of 1 crores. Means, let's consider there can be corporates that have donated 1,000 crore rupees to a political party. Are corporates donating it for, let's say, for in free will without any consideration? No. So Supreme Court of India has said that there can be quid pro quo situation. What? This is quid pro quo. Means, it means give and take relationship. Give and take relationship. It means those corporates that were, let's say, supporting political parties in their voting, in their election, there can be huge number of corporates supporting political parties. So if they're supporting, so they might be expecting something in return from the political parties. What they might be expecting is that, let's say, once you come to power, in that case, you may have to pass legislations that will favor us, that will support us in our business. So the thing is, it will make our democracy weaker in the country. Okay, that will make our democracy weaker. So this judgment is widely cherished for let's say, enhancing the democratic structure or to uphold the democracy in the country. But State Bank of India tried to, let's say, play fall in this game. How it tried to play fall in this game? Basically, State Bank of India has it has to share the data by 6th of March, right? 6th of March 2024 with the Election Commission of India. And Election Commission of India was mandated to publish the data by 11th of March. But what has happened? On 4th of March, the State Bank of India has reached or approached the Supreme Court of India with a kind of application, asking more time, asking time till 10th of June. And by 10th of June, the general election will have happened in India. Means people have felt that like State Bank of India is trying to avoid this election. Means like it is trying to bypass this election to share this data. However, Supreme Court of India did not accept the State Bank of India's, let's say, application. Why? Because like 26 days had already passed. So Supreme Court of India has asked that 26 days has already passed. You did not mention in your application what you have done in the last 26 days related to this. State Bank of India is a bank that has 50 crore customers in India. It's a large network of banks. I mean, like State Bank of India has large network of branches. It is able to, let's say, cater to 50 crore customers. And if I talk about electoral bonds, how many electoral bonds have been issued from 2019 till, let's say, till this Supreme Court judgment? Only 22,207, I think, 22,200, right? Electoral bonds have been issued. A bank that serves 50 crore customers, is it not possible for that bank to, let's say, short the data of 22,000 electoral bonds? And the thing is, like in the previous article we have discussed that all these data, the KYC data, what State Bank of India has done, it has maintained the data in digital format and in physical format. In digital format, the transaction related data have been maintained. The KYC details of the customers have been maintained in physical format. And all the electoral bond related information was transferred from these branches to the nodal branch of the State Bank of India, which is located in Mumbai. So now effectively in Mumbai, all the physical copies are available, and since it is a nodal branch, it does have access to the digital data as well. So Supreme Court of India has said that like you are such a big bank, you should not have taken so much time. You should comply now itself. So Supreme Court, I mean, in further articles we will discuss that Supreme Court of India on 12th or 11th of, let's say, 11th of March has asked the State Bank of India to share the data on the same day with the Election Commission of India, so that Election Commission of India can publish it within next 3 days. Okay, this is the thing. So here this answers your query that why did the top court reject SBI's plea? Because like SBI's application seeking more time does not have any merit in it, because it is a big bank. It does have the capacity to compile 22,000 electoral bonds in one thing and share with the Election Commission of India. So Supreme Court of India was not carried away with the application. It has come heavily on the State Bank of India, and it was also ready to issue contempt of court notice, right, to the State Bank of India in that case. Okay, so this is the thing. So with this, let us now quickly move to the next article. This is the article that I was talking about. It says Supreme Court firm tells SBI to share poll bound data details today. Okay, Supreme Court of India was firm. It asked the State Bank of India to share the data today. So what did the SBI said? The bank sought time till June 30 to match the information to ascertain who contributed to which political party between April 12, 2019 and February 15, 2024. So Supreme Court of India, the Chief Justice of India has said that we asked you to do a plain disclosure. We did not tell you to match the details. You simply need to comply with the February 15 judgment. Okay, this is the thing. This is what like the Supreme Court of India has said. This is the crux of this particular article. So with this, now let us move to a topic which is related to science and technology. This topic is very important for the prelims exam. So this topic says test flight of Agni 5 with MIRV successful. Okay, Agni 5 is a rocket. Okay, it is a ballistic missile. Agni 5 is a ballistic missile, and so it has been tested with MIRV technology. What do we mean by MIRV technology? It means multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle. It means there is one vehicle, using the same one vehicle they can launch multiple ballistic missiles at the same time for different locations. From one place you are launching multiple missiles at the same time that strikes at different locations. Okay, that is known as MIRV technology, multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle. So this has been tested, right? This has been tested from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island. Okay, where it is located? It is located in the state of Odisha. Why this island? Because let's say Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is considered to be the missile man of India. So this island has been named after him, right? And all the tests that happens related to missile, most of these are done by DRDO. What is DRDO? DRDO stands for Defense Research and Development Organization. This is one of the premier research organization that does research and development in defense related activities. When we talk about missile technology, whether it is cruise missiles or ballistic missiles, these are for defense purposes of the country. They make our country stronger by defending our borders, by defending us from, let's say, any kind of invaders or anyone who tries to threaten us. So this technology is very important. Okay, Agni series of missile, as we have in science and technology class we discussed a lot of things, like we do have a missile program. India's, let's say, we do have a missile program, and under this Agni has been made, and Agni missile was, let's say, tested long back, but with MIRV technology it was tested for the first time. That's a big achievement, because at the same time you can launch multiple missiles from the same vehicle that strikes different targets. Okay, this is the thing. So with this, now let us move to the next article. It says center notifies CAA rules ahead of polls. What do we mean by CAA? It means Citizenship Amendment Act. Okay, so Citizenship Amendment Act amends the citizenship rules in India. Okay, so central government has notified the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024 that would enable the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act passed by the Parliament in 2019. So Citizenship Amendment Act has already been passed by the Parliament in 2019. What it does, it allows minorities from our neighboring countries, right? That includes, let's say, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Parsi, Christians and Jain communities from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan to enter India, right? To enter India and seek Indian citizenship. Not only this, those people who have entered India before 2014, they will also be given citizenship by the central government. But this is being criticized. Why it is being criticized? Because like it eliminates, or it, let's say, it does not include Muslim as a community. That is one pitfall of this particular thing. It says the rule states that applicants will have to provide 6 types of documents and specify the date of entry into India. Okay, so through Citizenship Amendment Act, these people, these minority people from these 3 countries, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, whether they are Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Parsi, Christian and Jains, they will be given citizenship in India. Okay, so this has been notified by the central government. Notification means it came into effect. I mean, like, although the act was passed by the parliament, after its notification this particular act will come into effect. And so like many people have started, let's say, protesting against it. There have been a protest in the state of Assam also. So there is a students union, ASU, right, all Assam students union, so they have protested against it. Now we have another article. It says liberal democracy has declined significantly in India report. So recently a report has been published. That report talks about the liberal democracy. It talks about, let's say, like, what is the democratic strength of a country. And name of that report is known as Democracy Report 2024. What is the name of the report? Democracy Report 2024. And so this report compiles an index also. This index is known as Liberal Democratic Index. And in the Liberal Democratic Index, there are 4 parameters, and these 4 parameters are very important. One of the parameter is liberal democracy, another is electoral democracy, third is electoral autocracy, and fourth is closed autocracy. So, like, in this particular index, they have said that India has moved further down. Earlier also India was categorized lowly, right, in this index, and here according to this index, India has slipped. Let's say, like, during 1975, state of emergency was imposed by the Indira Gandhi. At that point of time, it was alleged, it was said that the democracy is under threat, that like people are not given proper democratic rights, their rights were taken away. Similarly, at this point of time, this report showcases that the level of democracy in the country has gone below, right, even below than 1975. It says that the liberal democracy enjoyed by the average Indian now down to levels last seen in 1975 when Indira Gandhi declared a state of emergency in India. So this democracy index is, let's say, like published by an institute. It is known as VDAM Institute. What? VDAM Institute, and it is Gothenburg based institute. Okay, this is the thing. You need to remember the name of the organization, VDAM Institute, that publishes this report. What is the name of this report? Democracy Report 2024. Which index does it compile? It is known as Liberal Democracy Index, and their score actually categorizes different regimes into different types, is liberal democracy, electoral autocracy and closed autocracy. This is the thing. Okay, so it has categorized India very lowly at this point of time. What you need to do is, like, you need to write this factual information somewhere, so that, like, if a question comes in the prelims exam, you should be able to answer this question. So that will be all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending this session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.